right, so welcome again. This is our midweek meditation service. Those of you sitting in this room and those of you who are streaming in live from around the country and the globe, welcome. And again, just making sure any cellular devices are either off or in meditation mode, also known as airplane mode. And we're going to get into the ins and outs of our meditation practice in just a moment. And for those of you who are streaming in, welcome. You're going to want to find a place to get comfortable and get seated. And maybe you want to put your device on Do Not Disturb. And as we begin, as always, we're going to start with our reading and our opening prayer by our beloved Agape licensed spiritual practitioner, Mary Jane.
Good evening. My name is Mary Jane Blackwell, and our reading this evening is taken from The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Nothing has ever happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will happen in the future. It will happen in the now. What you think of as the past is a memory trace stored in the mind of a former now. When you remember the past, you reactivate a memory trace, and you do so now. The future is an imagined now, a projection of the mind. When the future comes, it comes as the now. When you think of the future, you do it now. Past and future obviously have no reality of their own. Just as the moon has no light of its own and can only reflect the light of the sun, so are past and future only pale reflections of the light, power, and reality of the eternal present. Their reality is borrowed from the now. The essence of what I'm saying here cannot be understood by the mind. The moment you grasp it, there is a shift in consciousness from mind to being, from time to presence. Suddenly everything feels alive, radiates energy, and emanates being. Let us turn within and pray. Oh, I'm just so very grateful for this evening, grateful for this meditation. And I'm grateful to be reminded of the present now moment. Grateful for this reading and grateful for Soul Center, and so very grateful for this midweek meditation service that we get to come together and gather. I recognize God as the only thing that there is, the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, omniactive source of all life. It birthed all of creation out of itself, and I am one with it. And this presence is filled with harmony, peace, joy, beauty, abundance, wellness, wholeness. Everything is God. I am one with it, and I know that each and every person here is one with it as well. And I'm blessing this service tonight, knowing that as Reverend Keith guides us, we learn more and more about meditation. I know that we are in the now moment, and we have so much to learn. Going from the mind to being. And I'm blessing the teenagers upstairs as they're in their last class of the teen meeting. I'm blessing all the people, all the love streamers, and everyone that is here tonight through their sacred yes. And I'm blessing Reverend Keith as he brings this message tonight. And I know that it is God. I know that it is good. And so it is. Amen. So it is. Amen.
Thank you, Mary Jane. And again, welcome. If you just joined us online, welcome to our midweek meditation service. When I first started meditating regularly and deliberately, there's a difference. We all meditate all the time, whether we know it or not. If you don't have a meditation practice, sometimes you get lost in a meditative state while exercising. Sometimes you just move into a daydream kind of a state. And that would be an unconscious meditation. A conscious meditation means I'm deliberately allowing myself to let go of space and time, and as Eckhart Tolle would refer to it as move into the now. Letting go of space and time, we're not getting rid of it, we're just letting go and opening to what we often refer to as the presence. Some people confuse now with the present. The present is still in space and time. The now, or the presence, is where we get to rise above that. We always start our service with a reading and a prayer. And what is the difference between prayer and meditation? It's very little difference between the two. Prayer sets a trajectory for alignment. When you speak a prayer, you're speaking your word and you're allowing that word to align in a particular holy frequency and move in a particular direction. One of the aspects, and it's a meditative experience, meditation takes us outside of space and time, and it actually aligns us with our true, deep, profound, eternal nature. It's more of who we are than anything else. And so meditation is kind of like bathing in those eternal frequencies without necessarily having to set a trajectory. Now, some meditation practices do set a trajectory. If you're doing an activation or a visioning meditation, then the trajectory is to be open to a particular frequency, whether that frequency is providence, providence being knowingness. Knowingness is different than an intellectual understanding of something. And the idea would be to move from an intellectual understanding of the truth to a knowingness where you remember. Because the two key things about prayer and meditation is that you're not learning it, you're remembering it. You're remembering who you truly are. And what life truly is. It's very simple, it's very elegant, it's very profound, and when we have an aha, that's a remembering, not a learning. And so the aha, or sometimes we refer to it as the truth that sets us free, we want to give that room in our human being to integrate. So if I've been holding on to temporal energy, temporary energy in my human energy field on a regular basis, and I've acclimated to that, which acclimates me to time, and time, past and future and present, ties me to certain patterns of energy. And when we move outside of that, when we liberate ourselves from that, then we get to move into a paradigm shift, because now possibilities and potentials become available to change the trajectory. So in the quantum world, if we just look at it purely from a quantum science perspective, quantum says that you can look out into a realm of infinite possibilities, and once you bring an awareness to one of those possibilities, that's how you've set the trajectory in that direction. Some would say that quantum is a little bit random, but we know that the potentials respond to the observation and the trajectory and then come into form. So as we move into not having to figure and not having to analyze, we can become aware of a potential from a divine perspective, and then we can create resonance. So there's a lot of people that have read books on anger management and things of that nature, other types of management, where I'm going to try to control space and time, and you'll get a little bit of mileage out of that. But when you transcend space and time, which means you can transcend issues, habits, and the beliefs behind them, then you open to a whole new realm of good. And the best part about it is it's super relaxing, super rejuvenating. I would, as you've heard me say before, meditation is the best medication, because we now know scientifically that all of the good endorphins whether it's the serotonin or the dopamine or all of those feel-good things, instead of having to be coerced with a medication, work in homeostasis and work in a holistic approach where there's no ill side effects. So it is all real good. I know I am somewhat preaching to the choir. Whether you know the science behind all of this or the spirituality behind it or not, matters not. We're just going to go ahead. I'm going to center us. Then we'll stay in the stillness for a bit. And then we'll come out in a wave of prayer. And as always, energy follows intention. And so when I first started, you've heard me say it before, I used to need to have a perfect environment with no distractions and all of that. And that is why the intention I came up with is nothing will distract me. Nothing from the outer world, nothing from the inner world will distract me, because the idea is there could be a whole litany of things going on. I could be sitting in the middle of a concert somewhere, and I can go into an undistracted state of awareness. That doesn't mean I'm not aware of what's going on. I'm just not attached to it. And that is a heightened state of consciousness. But for here, we do our best to allow ourselves to make sure the environment is conducive to exercising that meditative muscle. So we will have some soft music and a lot of quiet. And with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to begin. The lights are going to go down, and the rest will be self-explanatory. And as always, we begin by first giving ourselves permission to relax. Just saying to ourselves and our minds, I give myself permission to relax. As we invite, as we evoke, and as we allow the eternal, divine energies of peace and love, beauty and joy, clarity and serenity to wash over us, to rise up from within us. We have no place to go. We have nothing to do except surrender into the deepest states of relaxation, revelation, and rejuvenation. We take a moment to deliberately let go of temporal energy, letting go of any tension or concern. We don't need to know how or why. We simply choose and allow that energy to evaporate, transmute from our physical, emotional, and mental bodies. We use the exhalation as the vehicle of release. Simply exhaling and letting go of concerns. As we inhale the energy of tranquility and peace. Exhaling, we let go of efforting and trying, seeking and searching. We inhale the energy of ease, calm, and effortlessness. Exhaling, we let go of analyzing and figuring. As we inhale, waves of clarity, aligning the surface mind with the higher mind, moving from intellect to knowing through observation. And we let go of time. Exhaling, we let go of the past and the future and the present as we open, inhaling to the presence, the infinite, the eternal. Many feel that as a softening or tingles beginning to flood throughout the body. Some begin to see waves of light, or just an immersion in darkness. However you sense or see or feel, I invite you to allow every cycle of breathing to take us deeper into a stillness that is filled with life, wisdom that is beyond words. We open all the channels, all the meridians of our physical, emotional, and mental bodies and allow them to align with the energy of creation, the energy of our soul. We allow density to evaporate. And you can feel the light as luminosity and weightlessness flooding your toes, heels and ankles. You can feel it rising into your calves and shins. Everything is softening, strengthening as density evaporates. You can feel that energy tingling in your thighs and hamstrings, and beginning to flood your hips, lower back and lower belly. Waves of harmony, ease, and freedom rising into your upper chest and shoulder blades. All the organs flooding with light. The heart opening in joy. As we become softer and lighter, it's as though the floor beneath us is beginning to fade away. We begin to find ourselves floating. So the walls are losing density, and the ceiling is opened to the infinite. There's nothing to get rid of, only opening to the lightness of being. You become aware that your entire energy field, from the physical body to the emotional body to the mental body, is becoming softer and brighter, wider and fuller. And you can feel and sense spaciousness, timelessness, and the energy of your soul. Thoughts continue to fade and evaporate. And we can feel the angelic frequencies. Innocence, purity, grace, beauty. I invite you to bring your awareness back to your breathing, and solely through intention. Allow the breath, every cycle of inhaling and exhaling, to become wider and fresher, deeper. No efforting. You can feel the inhalation and the exhalation are synced. And each cycle takes us deeper and higher into an effervescence of angelic brilliance. We can feel the entirety of divinity expanding. And here, in timelessness, you'll begin to notice rejuvenation. You'll begin to notice revelation. And so we allow ourselves to observe. Simply allowing the eternal frequencies to expand. And should your mind wander at any time, simply bring it back to the breath. Going even deeper, rising even higher. feeling absolutely nurtured. We may let go into the fullness of freedom. And feel the energy expanding. Any resistance melting away. And you can feel the energy of your soul even more. Infinite, benevolent potentials, possibilities, only of that which makes your heart sing. You begin to notice these energies are beginning to fortify. Fortify your entire physical body with wellness, the natural circadian rhythms aligning and attuning. Fortifying with divine strength. Peaceful vitality, all the organs, your heart, your lungs, spleen, thyroid, liver, gallbladder, stomach and adrenals, pancreas and intestines flooding with light, all the muscles, ligaments, tendons, and joints, emollient with the effulgence, the radiance of wellness. We're just allowing it. Everything is recalibrating, rejuvenating. As the emotional body floods with divine strength, fortifying. With unwavering compassion and love. And an amplification of clarity begins to expand in the mind. we give permission to allow inspiration. Divine illumination. The surface mind merging with the higher mind. Waves of optimism, of faith and a trusting of the soul and the goodness of life, the eternal, flooding into all the nooks and crannies. We can feel newness and nowness, freshness. You may begin to notice waves of cascading, shimmering light washing over you and through you. That which we call chi, or ki, or life force, shakti, flowing from the very source of life down through your energy field and body, from your 8th and 9th chakras down through your crown, through your cheeks and throat and shoulders, your heart and root and legs. In the material world that we call Earth, you begin to feel a grounding, a rooting of the eternal through you in human form. That you are standing on holy ground, sacred ground. And as timelessness, eternality, goodness, and wholeness anchor through you, we take a moment in gratitude. Knowing that there is an impulse back of all life, no matter what is going on in the human world, that impulse only seeks to beget good. A divine impulse, a heavenly impulse, we associate with God, whether we call it the universe, Yahweh, Dios, Allah, Jehovah, the Creator, the One. It is an omniamorous presence, all loving unconditionally, ceaselessly, all knowing, all powerful, and it is never once judged or withheld. And as we give up all resistance to receiving and knowing, that energy flows through us, and we remember, as stated in every sacred text around the globe, we are formed and fashioned, born in the image and likeness of the divine. Beyond our name, age, gender, race, nationality, that holy spark that lives in cooperation, synergy, oneness, wholeness, goodness. We are one with the one. We open to the great truth. Wherever I am, the divine is. And it is always fresh, and it is always new. We take a moment as we remember this truth. We allow it to ground, and we allow it to be good. And it is from a place of deep and abiding thanksgiving, knowing that the freshness and the newness and the goodness of the divine is only and always seeking to bless through us, not only physically, emotionally, and mentally, but in our body of affairs. And we allow that to be good. And it is from a place of deep thanksgiving, as we ground it, that we simply allow it to be good right now. And we agree simply by saying, and so I let it be. Amen. And whenever you feel ready, if you haven't already, you can begin to come back into a lucid state of divine awareness. And if you need a little grounding or balancing, you can take opposite hand to opposite knee, give a little squeeze. That just takes the feminine and the masculine energies and it crosses them into balance and brings us back. That's one way to do it. There's a couple other ways. You can push your feet into the floor, whatever feels right and good to you. And we're going to go ahead and bring up the lights. And I'm going to welcome you back. Welcome back our love streamers as well. And just a couple reminders. We're here Wednesdays for our midweek meditation service. We're here Sunday for meditation at 10 a.m. till about 10:25. And then we have our music and our message service at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. So we ask you to join us if that feels like a call to you. And our Wednesday meditation service is a way to give back to the community. If you feel called to make a donation, you're more than welcome to. The information's on the screen for our love streamers and for those of you here. There is a box at the back of the room if you want to make a love offering. But again, that's just if you feel compelled to do so. We do appreciate it, but we also want you to know you can just come and have no strings attached. We're grateful for all of our love streamers. We're grateful for those of you here in person. And a couple other announcements. The Life Visioning Meditation class, where you vision for the divine idea of your life and learn about the visioning process and all of that, begins tomorrow evening. It's an online class facilitated, instructed by Reverend Coco Stewart from the Agape International Spiritual Center. So that begins tomorrow. It's a 5-week online class at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which will switch to daylight time on the 9th of March. And then we have a sound bath meditation coming up here on the 16th of March. It'll be after our Sunday service. The room will be cleared out, and we will be doing a sound bath where you'll be able to lay down and just bathe in a whole plethora of sound vibrations. That information will be released tomorrow in our newsletter, but it will be here on the 16th after service if you want to join us for that. And let me just make sure I got the date right. Look at my calendar. So, yes, March 16th. It'll be at about 12:30 is when the doors will open on the 16th. So for those of you who want to participate, that is a paid event if you want to join, so you're going to want to register early. And those are the announcements of what's going on in our community at this particular point. And with that, I'm going to say welcome back and peace and blessings to all of our love streamers and those of you right here. We are complete.